right, a little peek behind the curtain. This is a postscript. My AEW Revolution review was 59 minutes, and I only get an hour. And then I recorded it also before the press conference. So I've seen now the reaction that I saw a couple tweets before I did the review just to get a general idea how disappointed people were in the whole show. But after seeing this press conference and hearing what Jon Moxley had to say, dog, I'm fucking offended. I'm legit offended. After this motherfucking match went over like a pair of wet socks, B. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people were legit pissed. And this is what Tony Khan had to say. Both guys are great. Honestly, I'm glad neither guy came out with a serious injury because it was a really scary match. And they both really put their health at risk for a huge pay-per-view main event. It was awesome. It was a great spectacle. And I think we're all lucky that the bomb going off in the end didn't really hurt anybody there. Really. Because Eddie Kingston was selling like JFK in the middle of the ring. What? What is going on, bro? Why not just admit that the shit flopped? Just say that it flopped. Like, man, hey, look. Well, ain't nobody ever did an exploding ring in the United States before. We got athletic commissions and all that type of shit probably got in the way. You could blame the government. But, like, look, athletic commissions, fire restrictions, FMW did get banned from some arenas because of the way that they use pyro and stuff like that. That's all you really had to say is we didn't want to, even though, well, can't say that because Tony Khan owns the fucking arena. So can't even say that. I don't know what he could have said, but he could have said anything except that. Let's continue with what he said. Kenny's master plan. He built a dud. Who would have thought when he drew up the big plan with crayons that the bomb failed to take both guys out? The battle really delivered. Excellent action. Both guys came out okay, which is great, because on paper, it looked like the kind of match where somebody could get hurt. So you admit that you promoted a barbed wire death match, and nobody got hurt. Come on, man. Come on, brother. Oh, I'm so glad that we had all these explosions and all this barbed wire and nobody really got hurt. I'm so glad you got a guy laying in the middle of the ring knocked out. Nobody got hurt. Got two guys bleeding. Nobody got hurt. I ain't never seen somebody bleed. Well, I shouldn't say that. I can't believe this, man. I cannot believe this guy. This shit is ridiculous. So now Kenny Omega is Wile E. Coyote, then built the bomb from Acme that didn't blow up. Jon Moxley didn't sell it. Jon Moxley got up and was like, Kenny Omega may be a tough son of a bitch, but he can't build an exploding ring for shit. And meanwhile, not 3 inches away from him is Eddie Kingston splayed out like roadkill in the middle of the ring. Can you have more miscommunication? This is why wrestling should be simple and not complex. This is why it should be simple and not complex. Let's continue. The plans we saw in crayon and all through the match we saw it looked very cool and it looked very deadly. Painful match. But at the end, I don't know what people really wanted. Unless you actually wanted us to explode the guys at the end, there's only so much you can do. Bro. Yeah. That's the point. That's why you don't do it. Right? You just perfectly encapsulated why you don't do it. Just like WWE couldn't possibly deliver on Eye for an Eye. Because there's no way you're actually going to pop Rey Mysterio's eyeball out of his head. Or Seth Rollins' eyeball out of his head. It was stupid from the beginning. There was no way you were actually going to blow any one of these guys up. So yeah, it was stupid. It was a stupid idea. But I would have settled for at least the barbed wire being legit. Okay? And people can tell me that, oh, I think the barbed wire was real. Bullshit! I've seen barbed wire used in matches before. And look, we can say that, oh, well, times have changed. Jon Moxley ain't Sabu. I'm like, look, man, I've seen people use barbed wire in matches before. It almost always leaves at least pinpricks in the back. At least pinpricks. It's like, this is not... What people expected was for what you promised. You wrote it in your own fucking script on the website. Exploding barbed wire death match. Not sparklers with fake barbed wire. Everybody's okay match. Okay, that's not what anybody wanted. Nobody wanted that. All right, nobody wanted that. Oh, let's see what else he got to say. So without blowing the ring up and both guys up, I think the basic explanation is that Kenny's ring set to explode. His plan as a heel to build this thing with a hammer and nails, as we saw, the final bomb just didn't go off. So I guess it was all for naught. I guess the real explosion is the fans we made along the way. All the people literally booing this shit. There were people in the crowd booing this shit. Now, I've seen some wrestling journalists have tried to kind of say, well, they really didn't blow guys up in Japan. You know, it wasn't a real explosion in Japan. Like, all you need to do is go watch the match. All you need to do is go watch it. You can see how they use somewhat real barbed wire, right? You can see the emotional aspects of it. This match was spotty, as in they was going from spot to spot. Literally, there was no reason for them to go outside the ring. When they went outside the ring to do the spot on the crates and whatever the hell outside the ring, this was lower than Wrestling Society X. Okay, and they did an exploding coffin match, but that had more explosions than what happened in this match. There were no explosions. There were pops. There were pop. That was it. I'm telling you, man. It didn't even sound like a gunshot. It was weak sauce. And there was not even a... Man, it was so... Look. Disappointment is a simple equation. Take hype or expectation minus reality equals disappointment. So whatever people hyped up, whatever people expected, minus what really happened. Meaning, if you don't understand why people are disappointed, all you need to do is look at the hype train that was coming for it. The only thing he could have said worse than this was, well, got your $50. Because that's basically what it is. You know, basically, got your $50. Too bad. You're disappointed, too bad. But this is sad, bro. There's a lot of people disappointed. The fact that so many people are disappointed, the capes have come out. So Will Ospreay has put out this tweet. Well, I don't know if it might be an Instagram thing. I don't know the difference. But here's Will Ospreay. Everyone trashing the ending of the exploding barbed wire match, and rightly so. The explosion wasn't what it was meant to be. But just saying this now, 90% of the people trashing this couldn't do the match that Moxley and Kenny did. The match was great. Just feel bad for the ending, as it's going to leave a stain on the match, but to all the wrestlers taking the piss. And again, yeah, the final explosion wasn't good. Just remember, a lot of you guys would have struggled to make that remotely interesting. So well done. Instead of bashing, I'm going to say it was a great pay-per-view and an awesome match. Well, I'm going to quote a great man quoting a great man. Bully Ray quoting Vince McMahon. The only thing they remember is the finish. Period. And they struggled to make the match interesting. They built the contraption. They built all the bullshit. Visually, it was fine. Okay? Visually, it was fine. Like when you first see the zones and everything, and you see the barbed wire with the ropes and the barbed wire chair, barbed wire bat. Visually, it looked like it was going to be a violent fight. You know, it looked like it was going to be absolutely insane. And then it was okay action with some bullshit effects. Right? It was okay action with bullshit effects. It's okay to just say it sucked. All right? They've had better matches before. Without all the explosions and shit. That's what people came to see. But that's the difference though. They had already had decent to good matches. Just the two of them. But once you start, and then they had a more violent fight which was the non-sanctioned match, which was more violent than this one. How is this the blow off to the feud? And it was less violent than one of the matches in the feud. Look, I get that you want to give them credit, and you probably should, because there are wrestlers making fun of them. I saw Shotzi Blackheart making fun of them. I saw T-Bar of Retribution making fun of them. I saw some people making fun of these guys, but they deserve to get made fun of. I mean, let them take their lumps. You know, let them take their lumps. It's okay to just be like, okay, it sucked, and move on, you know. But it wasn't just that, because, you know, then it started hitting people with DMCA claims. So almost all of the clips have been taken off Twitter. I had to re-edit my video to take the clips out. So I had a couple of clips to show people how shitty the explosions and stuff was, but I had to take them out because I didn't want to get my video, which I I sat down for an hour and put this shit together. That, you know, to get a hit with the DMCA just was not going to be valuable to me. So it was just all types of ills being floated around. We all took a loss tonight. We all took a loss on that show. You know, there's a lot of people who were bored with the show and was hoping the main event would save it. There were some people who were okay with the show and was hoping the main event was going to be a cherry on top. I've seen people try to say, well, the main event was mostly good. I say that the visual was great. But when they started doing, and the barbed wire stuff was fine. It was the exploding part that really kind of messed with me. The fact that the barbed wire probably wasn't real, right, is a big issue for me, right? But they did enough blood and enough selling to get you to believe that it might be legit. But the explosions were in no way real. And not in any way. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. AEW was supposed to be sports-based presentation. Sports-based presentation. They need to go back to that. Right? You want to do a cinematic match for Sting because he's limited? Okay. But all the multi-man matches, the battle royals and the ladder matches, we don't need no more of that shit. No more exploding barbed wire. No more barbed wire at all. How about that? How about we just end the concept of barbed wire in AEW? No more. There's definitely no explosions. If you got the best in-ring wrestlers in the world as they claim, just show those guys. You know, if you want to do a hardcore match of some description where people put some people through some tables, maybe you know, something like that, all right. But there's been barbed wire on like 4 of their last several pay-per-views. There's been some type of barbed wire. Right, and it almost always comes across looking like shit. Moxley ties it around his arm. That stuff is hard to touch. He just ties it around his arms. It's like, I don't know, man. A lot of people are disappointed. Rightfully so. I see a lot of people trying to cape. Don't cape for it. Just take the L. You know, it is what it is. But I'm truly astonished that they would bury Eddie Kingston like this. That they would basically go out and say, oh, well, the match sucked. Barbed wire sucks. Everything sucks. And then leave Eddie Kingston laying in the middle of the ring. It's embarrassing. All right, man. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
Da, 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 da.